Pentagon makes huge announcement. The Department of Defense is dropping all. The Department of Defense has to protect this country from every possible threat, foreign and domestic, so it's big news when they ignore a big list of domestic enemies, unless, of course, those enemies aren't real. Lib Americans have made a living by claiming that bona fide threats to the U.S. aren't real. They deny Islamic radicalism and claim that all cops are racists. It's an exchange, real threats for fake threats. So, it's just fantastic that the DoD has finally dropped the list of fake threats from its training materials. In a giant slap in the face to the Southern Poverty Law Center, the Daily Caller reports the Pentagon has officially severed all ties to the Southern Poverty Law Center after previously relying on the group's training materials on extremism. SPLC, Southern Poverty of Law. The Department of Defense removed any and all references to the SPLC in training materials. The decision to terminate its relationship comes at a time when the group has come under major fire from conservative organizations, particularly in the form of lawsuits, and thank God for those lawsuits. But if you're confused, let's bring you up to date. The Southern Poverty Law Center was once an organization that sought out, cataloged, and exposed hate groups across America. And every law enforcement officer in the country relied on their sources. Now they're more concerned with going after Trump supporters and those who resist Islamic extremism. It's a sad and pathetic turnaround. Islam cannot be criticized. Tucker Carlson rips Southern Poverty Law Center.
Weeks for the left's newfound distaste for free speech to start spreading into new areas, not just hate groups, but people they just disagree with. After Charlottesville, online payment platform PayPal announced it would deny service to so-called hate groups. So this week they cut off service to Jihad Watch. It's not a hate group, not even close, just a site that's worried about radical Islam. Service was eventually restored after there was an outcry online, but it's not a reassuring sign. Robert Spencer is the man this happened to. He founded Jihad Watch, and he joins us now. So, Robert, you were denounced as a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center, which is a completely ersatz, phony, left-wing lobby group posing as a human rights organization, totally dishonest. And then what happened next?
Well, a reporter from ProPublica, which is a Soros-funded publication, contacted me, pointed out that Jihad Watch has a donation link via PayPal, as well as my books for sale at Amazon.com and Newsmax news links, and said, what would you do if all this was cut off because you're a hate group, as according to the Southern Poverty Law Center? And I tried to actually reason with this reporter, Lauren Kirchner, and tell her the implications of what she was suggesting, and saying that if you are allowing that people with unpopular political opinions be cut off from these platforms, you better hope it doesn't turn on you and your positions don't become unpopular sometime in the future. But she published her article. It led off with me, denounced me, noted the Southern Poverty Law Center's absolutely spurious claim that I'm some sort of hate group leader, and within hours I was notified by PayPal that I could no longer use their platform.
What was so remarkable about the ProPublica piece, the Lauren Kirchner piece that you're referring to, which I just read, is that at no point does it describe in any detail the views that are supposedly hateful that you hold. It just described you as a member or the leader of a hate group, but it never told viewers or readers what that means. It was by definition propaganda. It was garbage. Did you complain about this?
Oh yeah, sure. I wrote about it at Jihad Watch and pointed out that Lauren Kirchner had not made any effort to verify whether the Southern Poverty Law Center was right or not about whether I'm a hate group. The left seems to consider the Southern Poverty Law Center infallible in matters of who's a hate group and who isn't. But nobody asks, well, wait a minute, who's watching the Watchmen? Yeah, what are the biases of this supposed neutral arbiter?
So I actually went to the Southern Poverty Law Center website. It hurt me to do that, but for the purposes of this segment, I made myself. and went to the entry on you, and because I wanted to know. I mean, if you're saying things that I'm appalled by, I don't want to have you on, or I want to call you on them anyway on the air. I couldn't find anything in your write-up that was even particularly controversial or out of bounds. Do you know what exactly they're holding up as an example of your hatefulness?
Well, I think that what we have here is the left's very common tendency to take statements that are absolutely true that they don't like and portray them as hateful. One of the main things that I say in my work is that the jihadis are working from real traditions within Islam. They're not all Muslims by any means and all that. Not all Muslims are terrorists or believe in what the jihadis believe in, but the jihadis can and do point to the texts and teachings of Islam to justify violence and make recruits among peaceful Muslims. Now, this is an obvious fact that I've documented thousands of times on Jihad Watch, but as far as the left goes, if you even suggest that Islam is not a religion of peace, or that might not be a religion of peace in every conceivable way, then you're a hate monger and a bigot and an Islamophobe.
Ayaan Hirsi Ali was also listed on the SPLC website as a hater. This is someone who, of course, grew up in Somalia and was the victim of female genital mutilation, but for criticizing that religion, she's a hater. Really quickly, can you think of any examples of people who've criticized, I don't know, Christianity, who are on the Southern Poverty Law Center's website as leaders of hate groups?
You know, not only do they not have any, but of course leftists in general celebrate that sort of thing. Richard Dawkins, the famous atheist writer, a critic of Christianity, critic of Islam, critic of all religions and religion itself. He was recently disinvited from a speech in California because the organizers found out he criticized Islam. They thought it was great when he criticized Christianity, but criticizing Islam has been set up as the third rail, the thing you must not touch in the American public square.
Why do the elites in our society hate themselves so much and hate our society so much, do you think?
I think that it comes from the idea of a certain kind of guilt over success. Yeah. And that the West has been very successful, and its culture is celebrated all over the world, and they feel guilty about that and think that we have to apologize and bring in all these other cultures to make up for this.
It's really sick. I wish Floyd were still around for a diagnosis. Thanks so much for joining us, and congratulations on being back among the living.
The thing is that the kids were taught in school. This is what they were taught in school. This is what you were paying for. The parents are paying for. The schools, the liberal teachers were teaching the kids, programming them through the years. And that's why you have this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.